This is how my client received 7K after being rejected for a pay raise at his company. And these type of results excite me because this is not your typical, my client followed my exact strategy and now he earns 10K a month type of result that you just hear everywhere around you. This result is a representation of the shift in identity that he went through. And in this video, I'll share how we made that happen so that you can create a similar shift in your life and also create similar results. And you will be surprised because this is not an exact strategy to follow. It's not a magic trick that you do once and now you create the same result. This thing completely changes the way that you are living life. And that's why it's important to understand this concept first. Information doesn't create transformation. Our mind is programmed to immediately jump to how. So when I shared this example of my clients, maybe you were thinking, well, show me how he did it. Show me the steps and I'll do exactly the same thing to create the same result. And that's why people online are constantly selling you systems, strategies, information, because you think this is what you need. When I talk to people that are stuck, they feel behind in life, they feel lost, they don't know what to do. What I hear them say often is, I don't know how to change. I don't know how to realize my potential. I don't know how to become financially independent. It is constantly focused on how do I do this? What steps do I take? So this is the problem that they are trying to solve. But this is not the most important problem to be solving. Because if information creates transformation in your life, how come that not everyone is in peak physical shape? All the information is out there to get into the best shape of your life. Just give your personal information to ChatGPT and you will get a complete workout schedule, nutrition plan. All that you have to do is to follow it. How come that not everyone is in peak physical shape? Similar to entrepreneurship, just look at the content that Alex Hormozi puts out there. All the strategies and systems are out there to become successful in entrepreneurship. How come that not everyone is a successful entrepreneur? It's because strategies, systems, information doesn't create transformation. It's about you. It's about the person that's holding the information. It's about who you are being. That's why in my coaching, I don't focus on exact strategies and systems on how to become successful. I focus on the being and making a shift in your identity because this is the highest leverage that we have to create a change in your life. You've heard the thing before, be, do, have. This is how change works. But how come that we're all focused on doing? It's not do, be, have. But still, we're constantly trying to solve, but how? How do I do this? What are the strategies? What are the steps to take? But this is not the thing that you want to focus on. And if we put it into different language, like Tony Robbins, change your state and you will change your life. So this is a different way of thinking about being. So what is the place that you create from? What state are you in? Who are you being in this world? What is your identity? This is where you want to make a shift. This is where you want to focus on. So just to give you a few examples to really land this concept. Let's imagine that you are creating from a place of fear. And I give you the best strategies in the world to create a change, to become a millionaire. When you are creating from a place of survival or from a place of fear, you try to prevent judgment from happening. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to fail. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to make a mistake. You want to be safe. You want to be certain. So this is what you're operating for when you're operating from a place of fear. So even though I give you the best strategies I can give you, they will never be good enough because they will not give you the certainty that you don't get hurt, that you don't make a mistake, that you don't fail. That's why you will stay stuck in the same place. Not because of the strategies, because you are creating from a place of fear. So let's imagine there are two salespeople and I give them the best sales script in the world. One sales guy is creating from a place of fear and survival and the other one from a place of abundance. What do you think the results are and the results look like? They have the exact same script that they're following, but they will create completely different results. Because when you are in a state of fear and survival, you will interpret the world differently compared to someone that is in a place of abundance. There will be a different energy that is creating. You will see and hear different things. And that's why who you are being is way more important than the strategy that you use. Because if you change who you are being in this world, if you change your state, you will access strategies that you didn't even know existed. So when you are in a state of abundance or confidence, you see the world differently. You will make different decisions. You will access different information compared to being in a state of fear or being in a state of survival. And maybe you think, well, Joy, this sounds nice. I can understand that I need to change my identity. I need to change my state or the way that I'm being. How do I do this? How do I make that change? And this is something that, of course, is something in my mind if I would watch a video like this. So this is what I did with the client. And I'll share his story in a nutshell. Because his focus was initially overly on the outside. He was looking at other people. What are they thinking of me? What is their perception of me? What are their expectations? He didn't want to create any conflict. He didn't want to create uncomfortable situations. So he was constantly managing perceptions and expectations of other people. So he was also very stuck in his head, and this made him passive. He walked very carefully through certain rooms. He didn't speak his truth because what if there's some kind of uncomfortable conversation that happens or some kind of conflict? What will they think of me? So this was his initial and old state of being and way of being. So of course, he didn't create the results that he wanted to create. So what we did in this session is we brought him back to his truth. What does he want to create in this world? Who does he want to be in this world? What does he want to express? So instead of thinking, what do other people expect of me? What do I want in life? So in the sessions, we constantly grounded him in his truth. And he could eventually also see other people's feelings and thoughts are not my responsibility. I can't be managing all these feelings and expectations. It is outside of my control. I can influence it if I want to, and if a conflict occurs, I can manage it and navigate it, but I can't control it. It's outside of my control. So why overly focus on this? So we were grounding him more and more in his truth. So when we connected to what he wanted, it was more money. I want to earn more money in the company that I work at. So initially he asked for a promotion, but he did this from a weak place. So he said, I want a promotion to a CEO. And his boss said, well, I'll think about it. We'll see. And that's it. Nothing happened. It's because he did it from a weak place. So when we grounded him in his truth and his courage and his confidence, he went up to his boss and asked for a promotion. And he said, I want to have a clear plan. I want to know the exact steps that I have to take to get that promotion. And it was like, oh yeah, I'll think about it. No, we're not going to think about it. Show me where my weaknesses are. Show me where my strengths are. What do I need to do to get a promotion? So he was having a strong conversation. And maybe it was uncomfortable, but this is also where he received the clarity that he needed to get the promotion. So in our coaching, we are working on this. And he also asked for a pay raise. So this is something, like I said, there is not an exact strategy. It's who he was being. He was being courageous. He was confident. He was not attached to a certain result. He knew what he wanted and he just went after it in, of course, a respectful way, in a compassionate way, not in a completely relentless, reckless way. So he communicated from a very grounded, confident, and courageous place with his boss. I want a pay raise. So on top of the promotion, he asked for this. And this is a possibility that most people don't even consider. Like, I already asked for a promotion. I can't ask for a pay rise in the meantime in my current position, right? It's like, why not? Why can't you do this? Why can't you make the bold request? And this is what I mean when I work with people and I tell them, we're going to create the impossible when we are working together. Because most people are not even considering this possibility because, oh, what will people think of me? What if he thinks, well, he only is here for the money and he only wants this and he only wants that? What if I get fired by making this request? So they have all these fears inside of them. So that's why they don't even make the request in the first place. But he was not operating anymore from a place of fear. He was grounded. He was confident. So he made the request. And the interesting thing is, this is not going to be a story with a perfect ending. He got a rejection. Within his current position, he couldn't earn more than he did. So now we can say, well, okay, that's it. So I'll be just working on my promotion and I won't get a pay rise. The thing is, he started to think in possibilities because he was still looking for, okay, how can I still make this happen? How can I still get a pay raise even though I can get a pay raise in my position? And that's when he saw that in the company, they were giving out coaching and training, leadership training to the employees that are there. And he already knew that he wanted to invest in coaching. He already was ready to re-enroll in coaching and make a significant investment. So then he thought, let me negotiate this possibility with my boss. So after he got rejected for the pay raise, he negotiated the possibility as in, I know there's training and leadership training and coaching in the company. Like, how can we make this happen? I want to work on this promotion. I want to improve my leadership skills. That's why I'm going to make investments in coaching. Like, is there a possibility to create this together within the company? And he got the company to completely fund his coaching, his leadership training. And this is how he received 7K from the company while he was being rejected from a pay rise. And the thing is, no one can give you this exact strategy on what to follow. It was who he was being that was creating this result in his life. That's why it didn't matter if he got a yes or if he got a no. It was the shift in being that happened that was creating this and that was expressing his truth. That was the most powerful shift that he could have made, regardless of the outcome. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. This confident version of him is not only creating in his company, it is also creating and leading his relationship, his family life, his health and fitness, every single thing that he does. That's why this is not a strategy that you do once and you get a result and that's it. You want to change who you are being in this world because it shifts everything in your life. This is something that you will take with you throughout your whole life. You will never ever lose this. A strategy is something you do once. A shift in being is something that you carry with you your entire life. That's why this is the thing that you want to focus on. Because just imagine all the possibilities that he is seeing and he's creating for himself that he couldn't see before. All the bold requests, all the things that he courageously could step into, all the conversations that he could have to create more and more possibilities for himself only because he created and changed that different way of being. Because I can give someone the strategies to exactly do these things in these situations, but he was able to access into these possibilities himself. And that's the place where you want to get into. So if we look at your life, and if you would ask yourself that question, look at the goals and ambitions that you have. Look at the dreams that you're having. Instead of asking, how do I achieve this? How do I make this happen? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to be? What kind of essence do I need to embody to achieve something like this? If I'm not operating from a place of fear, but from a place of courage, being grounded, from a place of abundance, what does that feel like? What does that state of being look like, feel like? How would I be interpreting reality? These type of questions and these type of visualizations helps you to tap into those type of possibilities within you, because the answers are already there. That way of being is already there. Sometimes we just need to create the space to truly tap into it. So you have a decision. Are you going to put fear in the driver's seat and are you going to let fear write the next chapter of your life? Or are you going to put someone else in the driver's seat? So it's all a choice. It's a matter of deciding. So decide, who are you being in this world? Who do you need to be to achieve the dreams that you are after? And this is also a different type of video that I made. Maybe if you're new here, I'm creating daily YouTube videos and they're usually in my car. They're usually off the cuff. But I felt inspired to share the story of my client with all of you. And yeah, let me know what you think of this type of format, these type of videos, if they resonate, because I'm thinking and I'm playing with creating more case studies of the clients that I work with to share their journey with all of you. Maybe even create case studies of my own life, but also to create complete masterclasses and manifestos around big topics like discipline, confidence, being, becoming your best self, like 1-2 hour masterclasses. So these are all type of concepts that I'm playing with. So let me know if you would like to see something like that in the comments below. And yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here and I'll see you in the next video.